So, I was going to do this live, but we don't actually have enough followers yet to do that. Um, so, I'm just going to go ahead and record this, talk a little bit about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, um, you know, see where it goes from there. Um, let's get started. So, we've got some projects we need to paint, and my fiance at Gen Con had bought some Army Painter speed paints. She's printed these little skulls with the colors on them so you know what they're going to look like. She's going to watch everything fall off the table with the cat. Don't mind that. Okay, so we decided we'd start with Quodd Heroes. She thought they were cute and they would be somewhat, easy to paint or whatnot. And for the most part, they are. I mean, there's definitely some tricks to this. So I'm going to finish off these two she started, and then I'm going to move on to what's left because we're almost done with these, so we can get started on our Atomfall games stuff, Star Wars Shatterpoint and Marvel Crisis Protocol. We need to get those. We need to get some money together so we can get some glue, and so we can either get a sponsorship from Army Painter or get a little extra money together so that we can buy the more in-depth paints to do a better job on those for them. The idea is to paint those up, do a review of both games, and then take them out to other stores and play them and help get the message out there about them. And hopefully by doing that, they'll send me more content for it and we can do more work on it. That's the idea. Atomfall Games has been really patient with us. We don't want to do it with just speed paints because while they're good for slap chopping and putting something like this together, this looks fine. On a tabletop, this is going to look way better than gray or white or whatever. But it's not, if we use these paints for the Marvel and Star Wars stuff, they're not going to be as pretty as we can. So she's still teaching me how to paint, but she's been really busy, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this project so that we can move on to something else. So we're going to do some more Quodd Heroes, and then, and sometime in the near future, hopefully we'll have gotten enough money together to do the Atomfall Games stuff. And then maybe we'll, paint some other things from games we've already received, like Rove and etc. But we're going to finish off Quodd Heroes today. So anyway, that's the state of things. That's what's going on. I apologize about everything taking so long to all the companies that have helped us. And we are working on it, I promise. So I'm going to start with a little black here. Just a dab, because you don't need a lot. So we've got just a dab of the black, and I'm going to use the fine point detail brush because I'm just doing this for her eyes. So get a little black on there, and you can see she's got just these little pupils. And I must admit, the one thing I do like about these quick paints is that they definitely make it really easy to get things done, which is why, big games with a lot of not main characters like Zombicide or, there'll be others. But, they'll be really easy to do with these types of paints because, well, that's what they're made for. So I've also done her mouth because, she's got this little gap where she's opening her mouth to say something. So I made that black as well to kind of highlight the difference in the rest of her. Now I'm going to move on to some orange. I think we're going to go with some Nuclear Sunrise. So this was from Army Painter. We bought it at Gen Con. It's 6, 12, 18, 24 different things. Now, 23 of them are paints. There's a couple of metallics as well. And then there's a speed paint medium bottle, which I honestly have to ask my fiance what the heck's that's for. Because, I'm doing this off the cuff basically today. I just kind of decided I wanted to do something relaxing. And this is what I chose. So, huzzah! We're going to go into the wild and try to do what we can to make this an easy brush. Let's see. So her shoes are orange on the character card. So I'm going to go ahead and just make her shoes orange. And I know this isn't like the best zoom. I can zoom in, I think. Oh, I can't zoom in video mode. What do you know? Haha. So I'm just kind of trying to do things where you can kind of see them. I also, need to find work so I can get a better camera setup, because right now we're just kind of using our phones. So I'm probably going to overshare on this video. I got injured at work a couple of years ago, and my back is in really bad shape. So going to Gen Con, while the funnest thing I've did all year, was also extremely painful, because every time I walk or stand or, just basically use my spine, my pain level goes from what is usually a solid 6 during the day to, God forbid, an 8 to 10. So, it's never a good time, that. The only other problem is I've also been unable to find a job, because I've held jobs at like CVS, and I did a little bit at Wood Forest Bank. The star on her head is also orange, so we're going to go with that too. I tried Wood Forest Bank, and I tried working at Cook Medical here in Indiana and Bloomington. And the problem with all the jobs have been I can't really use my back at work, which makes doing physical jobs like running pills to customers at CVS or filling the extruder at Cook very difficult. So I'm looking for some sort of remote work or, something like that. And I've got IT certification from CompTIA. I just finished that. And, I've got years of retail experience as well. And it's just a really tough time to find remote work. And like I said, this video isn't about the challenges. I'm just talking about life while I paint, because it's my channel and it's my fiance's channel. And you guys that have subscribed so far, or anybody that sees this, I don't mind you knowing the state of life in the review world for me at the moment. It's been really tough. And this review channel has really been the highlight of my year. I mean, other than proposing to my fiance, the review channel itself has been just the highlight of my year, to be able to do what little bit I've been able to do. And I don't know how I could ever thank you for watching it, or the publishers for giving us things to review, because I don't have any money to buy anything. I can't thank everyone enough for supporting us with letting us review their products, and with, watching us just give our opinions on random board games and things, guys. I mean, I've dreamed of doing this for years. I've wanted to do some form of board game channel since 2012, probably. And life has just never given me the opportunity to do such a thing. Now, I'm not doing it perfectly, obviously. I don't even have enough subscribers to go live with this at the moment. I need to hit at least like 100, and my account needs another 24 hours on YouTube before they'll verify it to do that. But Facebook won't let me go live unless I've got, probably another 40 followers than I have right now. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you all to please like, subscribe, and follow so I can start going live and doing cool little projects like this with you guys. So that finishes one of the two little water Quodd Heroes. Yes, these minis are from Quodd Heroes, by the way. It's a great little like programming movement game. And there's a lot of fun in that game. Having painted minis will, of course, make it stick out just that little bit more. And I'm excited for that because once I've got it painted, I intend to play it with my fiance and let you guys know our opinions on it. It's not like came out this year, Cult of the New Game, but it's a solid game that I love having in my collection, and I am completely thrilled that it's going to get played more than it already has. Like I said, these are tabletop quality, what's the word I want to use? Tabletop quality paint jobs. I'm not going to win an art reward for my first attempt at painting a mini, but hopefully you guys enjoy this and get to see kind of what we go through with them. This microphone is working, so hopefully it's canceling out some of the sound. I noticed in my last couple of videos that I hadn't worn the microphone and you guys had to listen to, what's the word I'm going to use? The fish tank. And I'm sorry about that. That was a poor choice by me, and that is hopefully not going to happen again because I'll remember the darn microphones. I feel like I should tell you, this is my first time painting independently. The only other thing I've ever painted in my life are these little cube sheep, and they're not the best paint jobs, mind you, but they're kind of cute. You can tell where the little scarves are on them and stuff like that. So that wasn't a bad paint job, but it wasn't good. I'm learning. This is why the first project I didn't do, this is why I didn't immediately do, what's the word I want to say for it? I didn't start with the Marvel stuff, because I want to do a good job. I really do. So let's see. This guy, I'm actually going to leave the ridges this white paint because they're white on his art, if you can see here. So if I leave those white and I do the deeper crevices with a darker blue color, that should get the effect we want with him. So my poor FedEx driver just arrived with a whole bunch of boxes because we're going to try to move in the next few months. Poor girl. But anyway, back to the channel. So, I'm going to try to do what it shows here. It's going to be difficult because this is not, what's the word I'm going to use for it? This is not your typical, paint job. So I'm going to use some holy white to increase the white on the ridges. See if it makes a difference at all. Because I don't think we've used holy white yet. It comes out gray. That's really weird. Okay. Like I said, I'm new to paints. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why that's gray, but I'm going to test it and find out. If you hear whining, that is my dog. And we may have to take a short break at some point so I can take him outside because he's having, I don't know, one of those days. He's a good dog, though. He's the size of a small pony. And I can't complain. While I was charging my phone before I did this, he just laid there and cuddled for a little while. So, good dog. So I don't know that this white is going to white. I mean, see what it dries as, but that doesn't look like it's white to me. It's very strange. I'm really confused by that. It says holy white. It's supposed to be white. But, that's gray in that little bubble, right? That's gray. Yeah, I'm not blind. So how is that supposed to turn white? I don't understand. I mean, it will give. I guess maybe it will give some kind of contrast to the white that the thing was painted with the the base, the primer. She went with a white primer, which, that's good. I like that. But I think this holy white might give maybe a slightly darker white than the primer. So maybe it'll give a better contrast when I'm doing the blues. The next thing I was going to practice on was my Final Girl stuff, because those minis are tiny, and I can't imagine they would be hard to do. Like, this guy's supposed to have really glowy white eyes, and I'm not, did I not mix the paint enough, maybe? I mean, it's got little metal balls in the bottle. But, I mean, the bottle itself has got gray on it. So, no, it's definitely, it's not a mixy problem. It's whatever color paint this is definitely kind of a grayish white, I guess. I mean, I kind of like it for the armor, though. That's kind of cool. That's supposed to be white on this guy. I'm going to go ahead and highlight the rest of his ridges, I guess, and see where we're at, because I've already started. And if I don't want to redo all the ridges, I guess I just have to do it with this, which is fine. I think I've got too much white on the brush, which is a problem. These are clouds too. The only problem with Quodd Heroes is you have to do each of these miniatures twice. They came with this really cool, like, ink job on them. And if you wanted them professionally painted, you could do it in the Kickstarter. I actually grabbed this game the first time I was at Gen Con by myself. I was working at Simon Games, and that was 2019, and I had seen, hello, by the way, that's me. And I had seen this one. The Kickstarter had come and gone. I was poor. It was shortly after my divorce, So I had seen that this game was out there, and I had saved a bunch of money for Gen Con. So I went and found the booth, and sure enough, I wasn't going to splurge for the pre-painted one because the inking was fine. But it's a great game, guys. It was one that I didn't know much about, other than I really dug the look of it, and I wanted to give it the chance to get played, So I played it a couple of times, and we really enjoyed it, and it's been on my shelf for a while. I need to play more of it, I know. I could say that about all my games. It's a problem. But it's a great problem to have. And I don't expect you'll have the best like tutorial for painting here because, guys, I'm flying by the seat of my pants. But hopefully you enjoy this at least and listen for a little while, something like that. I'm enjoying the process of doing something I had convinced myself I was never going to be able to do. So don't defeat yourself before you start something, guys, because I always thought that my hands were too shaky to do this. And while they're not, I mean, you can see they're not the steadiest hands. I definitely wouldn't want to be a surgeon because you would all die on the table. My apologies. It's not my fault. They made me do it. But it's not so bad that I can't do a basically decent paint job on a Mini, which means I now have the courage to do what I promised. And since my fiance has been really busy, she's the one that typically would paint these things. I had promised Atomfall Games that I was going to do their games proud. That's a really expensive expenditure they made. They sent me some wonderful minis, but I need to get some money together so I can get glue and so I can paint those because as it stands, I don't have enough money to buy food. Ignore that. We're fine. But I'm not making anything, and that's horribly terrifying. I don't know if you guys have ever been at that stage in your life where you're not able to hold a job because of physical ailments for that long. It's pretty terrible. And, I don't like talking about it much. And my fiance is going to hate that I talked about it because she's busting her butt, guys. She's not been on the last couple of reviews, and I know that's probably disappointing because let's face it, she's way funnier than I am. But she's busting her butt working 12s at a factory job just so we can kind of try to make ends meet right now. So I appreciate you, you know, paying attention to us and just letting me feel like I've got something I'm doing right, maybe. And I can't thank all of you, the viewers, enough. And I can't thank all of you, the game publishers and developers who have shared your products with us enough. IV Studios was really kind. They gave us access to their 3 smaller games, which were really good, actually. And I don't have anything to paint in those because there's no minis. But guys, if you get the chance to check out any of IV Studios' games, from what I've seen so far, they're amazing. Arcane Wonders gave us some really good stuff at Gen Con 2. We got a hold of their vegetable stock, and we got a hold of The Gap and Floresta. And those are all really good games that we've already done reviews on. You can trust Arcane Wonder. Even though The Gap and vegetable stock didn't hit for me personally, you can trust them to always make games that somebody's going to love. Just because I didn't love The Gap or I didn't love vegetable stock because it was kind of simple, that's the whole point, I think, is because if you want to bring those games out, you do it with your family. They're not made to be super complicated or super deep. They're made to be fun. And I think that's where I probably had a problem with those so much, was because even though they are fun, there was no depth as I played multiple times with Elizabeth. We were both kind of like, well, that strategy worked last time, it'll work this time. Nothing has changed. So, whatever. We'll just do it again. So even though they're not deep, I will still pull them out at, say, family gatherings or with my son, simply because they are meant to be played that way. Those quick little hits you get. I think the problem with this mini, guys, is going to be, it's definitely going to scream for some deeper paints. I mean, things that I don't have access to right now, because these are really good for slap chopping something together. These are going to look better, obviously, than they did before the paint, but they're still not going to be what you would consider complete. And by that, I mean, I'm not going to be able to get a deep enough shade of blue in those crevices, or I'm not going to be able to get a clear enough white on this to get those bright, stare right at you with lightning effect things that it's going to want me to do. And I don't know how to do those real well with these paints yet. But, we're going to try it. It's going to be what's the word I want to use for this? It's going to be a process. That's definitely what it's going to be. It's going to be a process. So far, that's me putting a coat of white on most all of his ridges. Like I said, this white is going to hopefully dry whiter than it is, because right now it looks pretty gray, which is fine. He's a storm cloud instead of a bright, fluffy cloud, which is fine, because that's what he's designed to be, it looks like, anyway. So it'll be fine. So now I'm going to do that same thing to him. Like I said, it's a dual process, because one of them, I believe, if I remember the game correctly, and I know that's terrible to say, but it's been years, guys. One of them goes on your player board to mark what you're doing, and the other one goes on the board to do the things. They could have just done that with a piece of cardboard, I'm sure. But darn it if it doesn't look cooler than just a piece of cardboard, guys. It's a pretty great game. Pretty great process that they chose to put it together, too. I mean, they went all out with making it really deluxe. So I was happy with it. I got to check and see what they've done since. I don't remember the developer or publisher right off my head. But I do think Elizabeth's going to like playing it, because it's cute, like she said. That's what drew her to wanting to paint these. I'm sorry about not being really good at keeping them on camera. I'm learning. And I get to talking and painting, and then I don't look at the camera, and I've somehow wandered off, and I'm sorry about that. Suppose I can get the cards out from underneath there. Don't want to paint those. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint him all white, basically, in the name of speed. And I'm hoping the darker paints I use for his creases and things will cover up the white better, because I don't want this to take all day. I'd like to try some of the other things. And I'd also like to play some Storyfold, which was sent to us by, is it Open Owl? I want to say it's Open Owl. It's a solo game designed to be played in a 10 episode arc story. And I'm really excited to start that. It is solo, and Elizabeth so far has not enjoyed solo games. So I don't know whether she's going to do any coverage of it, because she certainly won't be doing further coverage of Final Girl. She really dislikes it. Meanwhile, when I played and reviewed Final Girl, I liked it enough to go out and buy the entire series 1, 2, and 3 Kickstarter that I had pre-ordered, you know. Speaking of pre-orders, if you like to order games, be they Kickstarter or otherwise, check out my friends at Red Raccoon Games. They're in Bloomington, Illinois. They ship, of course, so you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to be a local to spend money at the best game store I've ever been to. They are amazing. They will do anything within their power to make sure that you not only have the right item, but that you're well taken care of. You know, for me, they've made exception after exception with me being unemployed since the back injury, where they've held my pre-orders until I've somehow managed to sell enough plasma or whatever to actually go in and get my big Kickstarters. Because for a long time, even before I got injured, I would do my Kickstarters through them because they would always get them. They would guarantee you they would get them if you pre-order them. You get a 10% discount on them. And, you know, from there, you got your pre-order. I mean, that's how I got Marvel Zombies, Cthulhu Death May Die. I did a lot of the CMON stuff because I love their games. And, you know, they are expensive, so it was easier to just wait and get the money together and pick it up at Raccoon than try to come up with the money when they announce whatever campaign they're starting. And then I also, right now, I have a copy of Merchant's Cove, the second Kickstarter that we didn't think was ever going to come out, or at least I didn't, because they had so many problems with... Uh-oh, I broke the skull off. She used super glue, which I told her was a bad idea because it doesn't bond the plastic. So I accidentally twisted the skull, and now it'll come off when you shake. My bad. So, whoopsie. Huh. Speed paint medium you're supposed to apply. I wonder why you would do that. I have to ask the fiance why one would do that. Or maybe one of you guys know and you'll tell me in the comments, which would be pretty stellar. This is going to be a long video, I know. And I'm sorry about that nature. I just wanted to share. And this is relaxing me very much. There's also, if you ever get the opportunity, check out Board Game Revolution. They've been really good to me as a board game group. Thomas is really good at running contests and getting the word out there about board games and the people that do things with board games. You can usually find my reviews or content on there, maybe. I don't know exactly where it's all at in the group right now, but I know he has okayed all of it to be there, so my videos are in the group. They're a great group, though. I mean, you check in every once in a while. I'm doing questions of the day. There's other folks there that are doing, you know, they've got a Discord channel they're starting up. Go give them some love. There's a lot of folks in there. You meet a lot of friends. There's game designers in there, publishers in there. It's a giant group. I mean, there are 93,000 people or so. So it's a lot. It's a lot of people. Now, I don't know. I think I'll probably only do this one set of 2 on video, simply because I got to eat lunch at some point, and you guys aren't going to want to watch me do this for, you know, an hour. So I think the next thing I'm going to do, we got Beowulf Blue here. These are all from Army Painter, who I'll tag. And I think this Beowulf Blue is the dark color of blue I'm going to use inside the crevices. Because it looks pretty dark. Oh yeah, that should be good. That'll go in good contrast with that white, I think. Oh shoot. I've launched my brushes out of their holders. I will be right back with the other brush. Don't mind my pajama pants, folks. All right, we're back. I mean, what do you guys think? Is that a good contrast? I think that's a good contrast. I think just a little blue in the middle for the eye of the storm. I think if I wash that out, set a drier brush in there, I'll be able to get some of that back. I put a little too much into that crevice there. Making his face blue because it doesn't need, it's got none of the cloud texture to it, so it is that blue in the picture that I showed you. Hopefully it sticks around and makes it look good. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know about you guys, but if Bob Ross were around and decided to paint Warhammer minis or something, I'd have watched that all day. Something along the lines of, "Oh, we got a happy little chainsaw here, and let's add some blood to this orc, and we got to tell a story, so we're gonna do a little slap chop over here and cut that Necron in half and glue it to the base." Bad news, his eyes are blue now, but that's fine. We'll fix that. I'll add some dark black and make his eyes black or something. I don't know. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is just me practicing for more delicate, customer-centric things, because I want Marvel and I want Star Wars to look good enough and for me to take it places to play with people so that Adam Fall Games will keep working with me, because I love the IPs that they're working with, and I really love the games that they've designed around them. And the only way right now that I get to play those is if I review product. And I'll be darned, but I like reviewing stuff, guys. I do. And I like this little format here, just me painting and talking to you, asking for your help on membership, because really, guys, we need people to like, subscribe, and share my channel, because if I don't get that, it's not going to matter what quality of content I put out. If I don't have subscribers, people will not ship me things. Already there are game companies, like, most of the big game companies, they aren't shipping me titles simply because I don't have a big enough following to warrant the cost. And I get it. I'm not upset. I totally understand that. I would do the same thing in their shoes. So if you want to see me cover bigger games, newer releases, things like that, then please like, subscribe, share, and follow my channel. And I can't wait to use my spare time once I'm employed to still do this and still be there for the different companies and to help board games, because board games on multiple occasions have saved my life. I mean, when I got divorced, board gaming was the only thing that got me out of the house to go meet people and get to know new people and just be a human again, which, was rough for me. I left my job there and started over after the divorce, and it was rough. Board gaming got me through other really dark times. It helps keep me grounded through this injury, even because I don't like not being employed. I feel horrible about it. But I also need something to do that isn't just sitting in a chair and playing a video game, because while that is fun for a little bit, it starts to get old, guys. It really does. I don't know why this color of blue is like this. For whatever reason, if you don't coat it just right, it comes out purple. And I guess this is just part of the learning process for me. If my fiance looks at this and says, oh no, we need to strip this, at least I tried. And life is like that sometimes. But at the same time, she's been really busy, and it's been really hard to get her settled. And I'm not perfect by any means, guys. If you've stayed this long, I appreciate you. I want you to know that. My hope is to bring joy and happiness, even if it's just through my content, to everybody I can meet, because the world needs happiness right now for various reasons, no matter who you are. So come and join me and see me talk about games, because let's face it, I'm full of hot air and I got a lot of things I can say, I suppose. So, a question for you guys that are going to be in the comments at some point. What is your favorite project you've ever done? The thing that you painted that you're the most proud of? Or if you don't paint, what is like the board game that you love to show off because the minis are so cool? Like, I like showing off Zombicide Marvel because, let's face it, that's just cool. Galactus is neat. Silver Surfer will be easy to paint when I get to him, though. I have a feeling my fiance is just going to tell me I should have left the white parts just that white instead of trying to cover them in. And she's probably going to be right, but whatever, I tried. I mean, what do you think? He doesn't look bad, right? Like, he's going to need some bright white highlights here, some bright in the middle of the shoes, some bright for the lightning bolt. But other than that, he doesn't look horrible, yeah? Like, he doesn't look great, but he doesn't look horrible. I hope not. All right. One more bit today. I'm going to go ahead and add blue to him. Same guy. Um, and then I'll let you all go. I appreciate it. And of course, by the time I get to the second one, I'm somehow painting better than I was on the first one. Not by a lot, mind you, but enough that I'm jealous of being the second one here. I don't know why I can do that. Is it because I practiced on the other one? I don't know. I do, however, have to say that I absolutely love these speed paints. Like I said, I really have to get around to getting the others, but I will, and we're going to do a great job on those, I think. But I think those I'm specifically going to let my fiance teach me how to paint them because Marvel and Star Wars deserve that. What I'll probably do is have her teach me how to do like the basic things, like the blacks or stuff, and let her handle anything that's more complex than that. So we might work it in a video where it's a chain gang type thing or whatever the term for that. An assembly line is the term I'm looking for. Chain gang is a prison thing. Sorry about that. Yeah, we might try to do it in an assembly line, like I'll paint on the big strokes of white for the stormtroopers or black for Darth Maul's um, outfit, that kind of thing. And then she'll do the more in-depth colors with the heads and things like that. I do know I'm excited to get those to the table because I absolutely love games. Let's see. I am terrible at keeping my hands still. We knew this. I talked about that. I mean, it's rough, guys. It's hard to paint when you've got zero artistic, like, bones in your body. That's not true. I know there are things I wish I could do, but I also know I have no training, which is hard to do. I mean, I could probably sit here all day since I'm unemployed, and after I do the farm stuff that I can do, watch YouTube tutorials or things like that, but it gets old quick. And I don't think I'm ever going to get to the point where me being able to paint miniatures is going to make me money. I have friends that do it professionally, and they're fantastic. I mean, my God, they look so good when they're done. Like, I think it's Shoshi. I knew her when I lived over in Champaign, Illinois, and she's one, an incredibly nice person, and two, an incredibly talented painter. Um, I don't think I would ever be able to approach her skill level. And I guess that's not like my dream. I can tell you that painting is tough at this scale. I mean, my goodness. I'm a little heavy-handed with the paints. I've already noticed that. Like I use too much of a color, and I get too, what's the word I want to use here? Too much of it, and it kind of does more work than what it needs to. I'm heavy-handed, for lack of a better term for it. There's got to be a term, but, well, heavy-handed would be the term, I suppose. Anyway, once again, sorry about mentioning personal stuff on here. I wanted to talk to people on the channel and let you all know, hey, this is hard. Doing the unemployment dance every day is rough. So I'm checking to make sure everything has got at least the base coat of this dark blue. There are places where I've been overly excited to apply it, apparently. There are also places that it looks like I rubbed it off on my hands. And judging by my hands, that's quite possible. I don't know. I don't know whether it'll be easier via contrast to just not paint the bolt. But it looks like it's, glowing. So I'm going to wait till Elizabeth gets home to find out about glowing and how to affect that kind of thing. So I guess I'm going to end this at just under an hour, which I'm sure has been more than long enough for you guys. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all later.